What's up, everybody? This is Dark Macek with Brutally Delicious, coming at you with a review of Mystfall's brand new album, Celestial Vision. So, first album by this band, and I did not hear any of the singles in advance, so of course I'm going in cold. I've never seen them live, I hope I do. What we've got here is symphonic metal. Symphonic metal from Athens. That's pretty rare. I'm thinking like Firewind is from some city I can't pronounce. Male and female vocal. I guess you call it that Beauty and the Beast style. Stylistically, like I said, symphonic. More on the side of, say, Nightwish and Xandria than Seven Spires. Very operatic quality to the female vocals. I really hate to always compare to Nightwish, but it is apt here. Also, I need to call out that the production for a debut album is just astounding. The band just formed last year. With this successful, I mean that in terms of the end product, not in terms of commercial success, of a debut album, I was honestly wondering whether this was some other bigwig side project. I remember when Evertale's first album came out and everyone was amazed that a debut album sounded that good. Maybe that's just the norm now. I mean, Fellowship had a great sounding album last year, but I digress. Sonically, great album, great style, love the vocals. Let's get into some songs. The introduction is straight out of like a fantasy movie panorama shot of the world they're in. I'm thinking like dwarves in the mountain forging axes. This leads right into the title track. Definitely a highlight, gotta say. The opening to this title track has a great medieval feel to it. I was thinking this could have been the soundtrack to a World of Warcraft dungeon. As I said, great operatic vocals. Really hating to compare this stuff to Tarja, but it's there. Moving on. Silence. This song is a great ballad, very emotive vocals. I actually listened to it twice, one of them out of sequence because I thought this song was so good I had to hear it again even before I was finished with the album. Kings of Utopia. There's really good songwriting here, but not in an immediate type that says this should be released as a single. I just checked. Apparently it was the first single released from the album. Oops. When I think of songs released as singles, I think of things that are just so immediate and obvious that they grab you while you're driving and distracted. This strikes me as the kind of song that you need to listen to attentively to understand. So I'm surprised by the single choice, but I do think this was one of the better ones on the album. For comparison, something like Five Magics by Megadeth. Most fans love that song. You could never release it as a single. It's over 2 minutes until the vocals come in. That's a very long-winded way of saying this song was thoughtful and not trite. Last but not least, Moral Compass. There's a really good heft to this song. I don't know a good word for this other than that. So the vocals and the keyboards together make you feel like something big just happened. I don't know whether this is a concept album, but I'm feeling the same way as in Black Horseman from Abigail by King Diamond, when the horsemen show up and need to, read the story. I don't want to spoil it. I think the incredible thing about this is, having just listened to it, I don't think I could sing to you what the guitar riff was, but I remember exactly how it made me feel. Like the background to something big. So, very impressive debut album. I've sang too many praises about the production, but it really stood out. When I saw that this band had nothing else released, I was kind of bracing myself for something to sound a little amateurish. Now I totally need to go back and listen again and figure out whether this is a concept album. I just keep thinking about Moral Compass. Was this a story, or did they just write an amazing song that made me think there was one? Fun homework for me. Rock on.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.